Hello everyone. Today we are here to do a review on Lincoln Navigator. This particular one is 2019 and it has V6 twin turbo 450 horsepower with a 10-speed automatic transmission, which is actually the same as Ford Raptor. So let's get started. This Navigator comes standard with the Reserve package, and this one in particular is long version. So this is 2019 Lincoln Navigator Reserve L. As I mentioned earlier, this car has a V6 and not a V8, which is rather odd. This is actually the first full-size SUV which comes with a V6 twin-turbo engine instead of a gas-guzzling V8. All other cars in this segment are still offered in V8 engines only, like Infiniti QX80, Lexus LX570, Cadillac Escalade, and Chevy Tahoe Premier, just to name few. So with 2019, all the Lincoln Navigators come standard with technology package. That includes the touch display, the gauge cluster is also all display, there's no gauges anymore, and heads-up display. Lincoln has always been associated with luxury cars like Lincoln Town Car, Lincoln Continental, Lincoln Limousines. Lincoln Navigator is not different. Lincoln Navigator was first introduced in 1998 and quickly became the flagship car for luxury SUVs in North American market. In 2018, the fourth generation of the car was launched, and now there's so much demand for this car that there's almost 6 month waiting. And then also on top of it, you have to sign an agreement with the dealership that you won't ship the car outside the country. So this particular Navigator has wood trim paneling with the metallic finish. The rust interior and the wood finish is immaculate. And the speaker finish is almost an artwork in itself. So as I mentioned, this car has the full LCD gauge cluster, which is customizable. Drive mode, hold, automatic start stop, and parking are all here. Different modes, like this one's is normal 4x4, slippery, deep conditions. And if you can see on the lower right corner, it actually says 4H, so 4 high. And as I change the modes for automatic, they keep changing according to what conditions I'm selecting or what mode I'm selecting. These are the piano keys for shifting the gear into reverse and neutral and drive. Another really cool feature about this center console's touchscreen is it's very responsive, just like my phone. To get anything on the display, like to search destination on the navigation or go to the phone menu to dial something, it's very responsive. Now my favorite part is when I go to this ambient lighting, I get various different options to turn on the lights too. And it's not just on the floor panels, it's even the cup holders. They have the exact matching lights. Getting into the back seat of the car, first off, the floor is illuminated with the ambient light, and then I have a full cluster here where I can control the heated and cooled seats, the temperature with a small screen gauge in it, and then the speed of the fan. If I put on auto, it should automatically control the temperature, which I need it to. Also, I have controls here to close or open the sunshade, which is pretty neat. When I'm sitting at the back, I don't have to ask the driver to do it for me. It also has on the back seats the full 2 USB charging, the cigarette lighter charger for 12 volt DC, and the household 150 volt DC as well. There's extra space for secondary cup holders. The primary are here with ambient lights in them, which are again pretty amazing, and a small display here for me to control the music system on up there from the second row seating. And I have controls like quiet, turn off the screen, volume, source, and everything. And being a luxury car, you get a separate glove box for the second row seating here, which is again just amazed me. I have a full display here, and on the other passenger side, more storage underneath the center console. With the nice soft leather interior comes standard 22-way adjustable seats with features like reclining, independent shoulder support, and because this is the luxurious Lincoln, we get independently operated left and right thigh support. I haven't seen this feature before, but the headrest on these seats doesn't just go up and down, it also goes back and forth to support the neck properly. So to get inside the third row seating, there's a button here. Press it, the seat goes ahead, push it further, and there's enough space for an adult to go inside and sit comfortably. And then this goes back again. Now the door handles have lights in other cars as well, but these ones are huge given the size of the car. Illuminated Lincoln sign onto the entrance of the floor, and a special light for the seatbelt buckle, so that you can locate where the car buckle is. One great feature about this car is when you walk towards the car with the key fob in your pocket, it actually turns on the parking lights for you in a sequential way. Especially that grille with the Lincoln sign illuminated looks very awesome. And like any luxury car, it has power running boards with special lights for the running board, projected Lincoln sign onto the floor, and the massive, gigantic backlight. The 360 view of the camera with this car is really amazing and very detailed when we go for parking or when we are moving out of tight curves. Especially because of a car like this with 22 inches wheel, it's very easy to go over the curve, and we won't even notice that we went over the curve. So for that reason, it does help having that 360 view. With the 360 camera view option on this particular car, I really like the settings. First of all, I do have not just the backup camera but the front camera. So when I press this button here, it actually starts showing me the front camera where I'm driving forward. But when I put it in a reverse down here, it'll start showing me the reverse camera with the 360 view still on the side. Plus, on top of it, I have options to actually just do the whole backup camera, or in this case, the whole front camera. And also, if I want to do a wide angle camera, this is on the front, and it's showing the car with all the sensors active. If anything's close to the car, it'll start showing in a red spot instead of that white. And then when I do reverse gear, it starts showing me the backup camera again with the full view and the wide angle view. But I personally prefer this angle because it's a 360 view, and it's not just animated and it shows some spots. It's actually showing the exact things that are surrounding the car, and it's so amazing that how this car can tell that if I'm gonna hit the curve or go over the curve, it can actually tell me by just doing a red spot right on the side of the car or on the front of the car, wherever the obstacle is. So now we'll do just a quick maneuver parking. I'm just backing up into my driveway here, and then there's cars you can see on the side of the curve, and this car being the big land yacht, Without having this option, it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to back up the car. Now you can see as I'm turning and it starts showing me the other car which is on the side of the road, and I can easily backing up following these lines. How I turn the steering, I can back up into the driveway easily. It's amazing how clear this display is on the center console. On top of it, I would like to also mention the power running boards. They retract to give a ground clearance of 9.6 inches. This car is a behemoth. It's 600,000 pounds, 2,700 kilograms in total as a curb weight, and still with a V6 engine putting out a 450 horsepower and 510 foot-pound of torque, this car can move. And there's a nice example. I'm just going to show you how big and badass this engine is. So this is the V6 engine that is in this particular big car. But Navigator doesn't need a V8. It has a V6 engine and 10-speed automatic transmission, which is borrowed from Ford Raptor, and it gives out 450 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds of torque, which is more than enough to maneuver and make a very good handling car for the size of this kind of SUV. Another amazing thing about the Navigator is that the trunk has two parts. There's the upper lid and then the full trunk, which opens up later. So if you need to just open up this upper part, you press the button here, it unlocks this part, and you open it. And then now you can see whatever's in there, or if there's something that can fall out, you can just put it and make sure it's there. But the second amazing feature of this Lincoln Navigator is if you have something in your hand, you just have to do this and the trunk will open for you. Another cool feature with this particular Navigator is that I have buttons here to fold and unfold the third row seating and the second row seating from here. So if I press a button, which is 3L, it will fold just the left seat on the third row seating, and 3R folds just the right. Also, the headrest folds automatically for us so that the seats can go down and then the whole thing can be flushed. Now, the third row seatings are fully electric, so to go up, I just have to press the button again and then they'll fold up. So how huge this cargo space is. With the 3-row seating still, there's enough space to put at least 3 full-size suitcases here. And just this finish is perfect. And another thing I want to show you guys is, once you move this away, there's enough storage space for here, like small things so that they can move in and out. They don't fall off the car when you open the trunk. There's more space at the back. And if I leave this open, and if I open this, I can make a little bit of stand so that I can put stuff here, and then there's still enough storage down here. All the spare key for the spare tires and the wrenches are here. And then again, if you need backyard trunk space, you just lock this back up, and voila, we get the space again.